I wasn't married no 2 years, Lindsay.
Charlie, you was married 2 years.
I was not married 2 years. Poochie is 3.
You've been married 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So hi guys, welcome to the Lived It podcast. It's your host Liv, and today I'm here with my sister from another mister, Kentrell Black.
Hi guys.
Okay, so as you guys do not know, so I'm just gonna fill you guys in on the backstory. Me and Kentrell have known each other my entire life. I want to say our entire life, but she's older than me by a lot of years. She's older than me, you know. Her mom raised me as her own, so this is my sister. So we're just here. I brought her in to share her story, you know. We just want to use this platform to encourage people that are experiencing any type of trials and tribulations in their relationship, and just kind of share our story, use our platform to let you guys know that you're not alone and you're not the only ones going through whatever it is that you may be going through. You're not the first, and
You won't be the last.
thank you. See, like we're just in sync like that. So Kentrell is an RN.
Yeah.
Right?
Been an RN for 10 plus years.
10 plus years. She's worked in the hospital, and now she's currently made her way out of the hospital working as
I'm working as a concurrent review nurse from home. So I did 5 years at Broward General in oncology, which is the cancer unit, and then I did 5 years critical care at Memorial as an ICU nurse. So I transitioned to home nursing with insurance. So that's what I do now.
Okay. And also tell them about your business.
I also have, I teach CPR, BLS, which is basic life support, and I also teach healthcare workers ACLS, which is advanced cardiac life support. So I do that on the side. My little business, it's flourishing. Want to do a little bit more, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay, and I'll also link all of the information to anybody that may be in the Dade County or Broward County area. We both live in Broward County in Florida, for those of you who don't know where Broward County is, in Florida. So if you guys are looking to get certified, you can hit her up. CPR. You can hit her up, so we'll include all of that information. So I'm so excited, guys. We've been experiencing so much resistance trying to get this episode recorded. We've been trying to do this for the past 2 weeks. No babysitter. The coronavirus,
right.
this plague that's over us right now, practicing social distancing, and it's just been a struggle. And even as we got here, we wanted to do some footage just so you guys can pretty much get to know us more visually. That didn't work out because it was an issue with the battery of the camera. Still at home, but we have the camera, so we sent the cameraman back to get the battery. So we'll try to include something if he reaches before we're done, or I'll put something in the Lived It podcast Instagram. That's lived LIVED _it _podcast on Instagram. But yeah, we've been experiencing so much resistance, so I really do feel like the devil does not want us on this platform to share these stories. And
It's okay.
Yeah, because we're here.
We're still going to move forward.
Yeah, they're like, so you want to do this another day? No, we're going to do this today. So, let's just start off with your marriage with your ex-husband, and just kind of give everyone a synopsis on basically how that started.
Okay. All right, so we met pretty young as teenagers, and it went from there. We kind of were inseparable for a while.
What age was that?
That was about 14.
Oh, wow.
I think I met him at 14.
High school sweetheart. Oh.
Yeah, my high school sweetheart. But we didn't actually go to the same school, but we just always kept in contact. And he was just, he went above and beyond to get my attention.
They always do.
He went above and beyond. He did everything, And as the years went on, we got closer, built a bond, of course. We went to senior prom together. He was living in Atlanta at the time. He came down. We went.
Oh, I remember that J and B, that the whole moment you guys had in the goal.
We had the
It was nice.
goal,
It was
the
nice.
jag.
It was nice. I think I was like 3 at that time, but I remember. No, I was a lot older, but it was nice.
Definitely were, a couple that people looked up to, and I didn't realize that until things actually went left. But we were, together, and then I got accepted to FAMU. Shout out to my Rattlers. I got accepted to FAM out of high school, and he basically wanted me to stay here, and I was like, no. I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I've always wanted to go to FAM. So my dream was about to come true. So I said, if you really love me, you'll be there when this is all over. So we kept in contact, while I was in Tallahassee, he would come to visit or whatever. Off and on relationship, as anyone would experience if he's living here. And
Amen,
there.
Lord. I'm glad that you actually put your foot down and, kind of said, this is my dream and I'm going to follow it. Because I see, like, with a lot of women, even myself included, we get in these relationships and, we're head over heels and we fall in love. And it's like we put our whole life on the back burner or throw it out the window because we want a family and we want to be happy and blah, blah, blah. But it's so important to actually secure your life and secure yourself so that if things don't work out, you have something to fall back on.
And that's what I was afraid of. I've known people, even family members, that just went the other way. And not that it's wrong or whatever, but that wasn't what I wanted for me. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if I would have stayed home, I probably would have been, booed up, pregnant, and then just still chasing my dream. So for me, I wanted to let me do the right thing first, and if it came after, if you still love me, then we can move forward after that. And which is exactly what we did. After I graduated college, I came home, I was working, and he was still there. So we made it work. Shortly after that, I was pregnant with my first daughter, Jazara. I was pregnant with her, and then we had her, we moved in together, and then everything happened fast after that.
Everything was bliss, right? That's the best stages.
We were happy, and, the most probably living that I did was probably when I was in college, had fun. Those were off and on points. But when I was married, I was in a relationship. I wanted that. I wanted to be the mom that was home, the wife with the kids, just the whole story. I wanted my dream ending, And,
I think a lot of it plays in when you grow up without your father in home, that's something that you always push to have for your kids.
Right.
Like both of us, your father was more involved than my father. He pretty much, he lived in another country, but he was pretty much still intact. My father was pretty much non-existent in my life. So when it comes to my daughter, I can relate to you with that. Mm-hmm. Like I kind of go the extra mile to try to make sure I put things back together for her sake. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I know I tried my best, but I still want to give her something that I never had, and it's kind of something that I long for.
Right. So that I think that played into why I stuck around so long, because it's like, I wanted that family unit for them.
Right.
I wanted that mom, dad in the house. They grew up with both parents, so that when they get of age, they have no excuse but to know what's the right thing to do.
Right.
But to know how a family operates, But, somewhere down the line, it became toxic. So I basically made the decision to step back and not allow that, and let them see that mommy can stand on her own.
And that's empowering, and I think that's important for young girls, and you have 3, so it's especially girls. Boys are a different story. I feel like boys kind of go their own way. Either they do what they want to do.
Right.
So at what point do you think it kind of made the turning point where you were kind of like, or did you see any signs or any signals like, what, this may not work?
I think there were signs from the beginning, but we as women choose to ignore.
Yeah.
And just think that I turned a deaf ear to it. But there were signs. Looking back, I think I knew. I just didn't take heed to it.
Right.
Because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to know that we weren't going to work. I didn't want to. And I feel like if I put that energy out there, then it's not going to work.
Her whole 20s was pretty much like that little snippet she had in college, that was her fun. And then she came out and she was just in
Right.
wife and mommy mode from there on after. And we were like living our best lives. Because
Right.
I was just turning 21 around the time she was having a baby. So like we were out living and she was like, no, I'm breastfeeding. And we're like, okay. Okay.
And we could turn back the hands of time.
Oh, we have. Because now you're like, let's go. And I'll be like, no, I'm
We
tired.
have very soft places.
Listen, I'm like the whole wife, and she's like out here being a whole MILF, looking damn good, and I'm just like, oh, I'm tired. My knees hurt.
I have to make up time. Like I need to be out. I need to be mingling. I need to be meeting new people. I'm ready for this chapter of my life. I feel like I went through, a lot. I went through a lot. So
Okay, so we gotta back up now to tell the audience, like, when you say you've went through a lot, let's give them a time frame from where you guys were in a relationship and when you guys actually got married, and what was like the turning point when you were like, you know what, I gotta get out of this.
Okay, so I wouldn't count like my really teen years as relationship.
I count mine. We've been
count yours?
together 11 years.
Well, if I want to count those, that's like 15 plus, I don't know. But I'm not going to count those because I feel like we were still finding ourselves at that point. Yeah, I met him and we were talking or whatever the case may be, but I would really count from when I graduated college, which was like 2008.
Okay.
It was 2008. So I would go from that time frame. We didn't get married until the latter part of our relationship. When we moved into our home together, I got engaged. She asked me to marry, got down on one knee, which is what I had been waiting for.
All my
And,
life.
like, he did it all on his own. Like he went and got his brother to pick out a ring. It was all behind my back. It was like, just in our living room, and that was everything for me.
Right.
What I had been waiting on, and then
And you were pregnant with your third child at that time, correct?
No, I wasn't pregnant yet.
No.
I wasn't pregnant yet. At the
Okay.
engagement, no, we were engaged for like 3 years.
Okay.
We were engaged for like 3 years.
Sounds about right.
We were engaged for about 3 years, and then like we had always talked about the wedding, but I just couldn't bring myself to plan it because stuff started happening.
Right.
Things started happening. And then we basically talked about everything and was like, oh, we're going to try to make this work and, whatever. And at that point, we decided to get married.
Right.
Which was, I want to say like 2015, somewhere around there.
2015.
Yeah. So we got married or whatever. And then I got pregnant with my last child after that.
Okay.
After the marriage.
Okay, so with everything that was happening, do you think like the wedding was based on, I really love this man, I want to be with him forever, or you know what, I'm on my third child and we're gonna make this work no matter what, or it was like he was pushing it like, I'm gonna tie you down, we're gonna get married? Because a lot of people, when they're engaged and the first, you kind of have jitters like, okay, do I really want to spend the rest of my life with this person? Do I really want to be locked down with this person? And then they see something, they're like, oh, I'm out of here. So what makes you see these things and then still kind of sit and say, you know what, we're still going to make this work?
Because we were a family. That was my man. Like there's nothing I would not have done for him. I've went on the court, on the stand for that man, gave a testimony. I done everything.
Bailed him out of jail.
I've done everything for him, so why wouldn't I marry him?
Right.
I feel like at that point I felt like everybody's going through stuff. Why wouldn't I marry him if he wants to marry me?
Right.
Why wouldn't I? Everybody was going through their issues. Everybody, was cheating, and everybody's still moving forward. So
and some people's women was cheating.
Right. So being the woman that I am, I was definitely a good wife, good mother. So I was like, I can make this work.
Right.
If we can just, do counseling and I can find out what the issue is, we can make this work.
Right.
I just needed him to kind of open up and
behave.
And behave.
Just sit down. If you would just sit down and act like a puppet, this marriage is gonna work.
So, yeah, so that was it for me. I had no doubts that we wouldn't work.
Okay.
When we went in at the altar and, yeah, we had issues, but I felt like we rode for each other enough that we could pull through this.
Right.
I've seen couples worse and made it through.
I'm all for family and I'm all for happiness. Like if I feel like that's water under the bridge between you two. Like, everybody makes mistakes. I've made mistakes. My partner's made mistakes. No one's perfect. So, like, if we could both get past it together, I don't see what the issue is with everybody else.
Yeah, and I feel like that was it at the moment. Our dirty laundry was out there, at that point.
In the family. Not out there.
Not out there, yes.
But, like, the family.
But the family kind of knew whatever, but... I feel like everybody still supported what I wanted.
Right.
Like, my family always supported me, no matter what. Even if I was going through whatever and I say, well, this is the person I want to be with. Y'all still was there for me. So, I feel like that at that point it was like, okay, we're going to work it out and let's see how this goes.
Right. So, after the marriage now, you guys are married. You're pregnant with your last baby girl, who's a total diva. Yeah. I think I'm going to clip a picture in there so you guys can see her. But at first it was all good and it was...
Yeah, we were good. The girls were good.
You went on the honeymoon.
We went on the honeymoon, which was also...
The family trip. So
that turned into the honeymoon. We brought all the girls, Jazara, Jariah, Janila. Janila wasn't born yet. Sorry.
You were still pregnant.
I was still pregnant. Yeah, the other two were there. We went on a family trip. We took family photos. It was really, really good. We had a good time. We got back. And I would say, like, for the first maybe 2-3 months, we were good. It wasn't until, like, after a little while that I started to notice those same traits before we got married. Like, the same things were happening. Like little slick little calls here and there, late hours, or we were at this party till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
The locking of the phone. You can't know my password.
I can't know password.
What? Do you want to take a hammer to this phone?
I have to know your password.
It's only right.
Password? Why can't I know your password?
Right.
So just those red flags.
Okay.
Those red flags started happening again.
Okay, so at what point did the red flags turn into, like, straight on finish lines? Let's take it mentally. Let's take it back.
Let me just put this out there. There was not only cheating, there was verbal abuse, there was physical abuse. And I wouldn't just throw that on. We used to fight.
Right.
Because I'm not a pushover. So, but definitely some heavy stuff. So I feel like maybe 1 or 2 fights went a little bit too far. So I feel like those were definitely building up to me.
1 or 2 fights or every fight? Because, women kind of downplay. I feel like
they went from arguments. Okay, when I say fight, where I'm from, okay? When I say fight, I mean we had a disagreement. We would go back and forth an argument. That's a fight to me. An argument.
That's an argument.
That's an argument.
Listen, everybody ain't where we're from, so they're gonna be like, a fight? Oh Lord.
Okay, so the arguments turned into fights.
Right.
After a while, because it wasn't just no argument. And then, like, I would say I changed about 5 or 6 phones within this time. Anytime that we would argue, my phone would go missing, or he would throw it and break it, or whatever the case may be. I'm calling T-Mobile for another phone. I don't feel like he wanted me to have access to social media to see what was going on, or talk to whoever was giving me my information, or follow through on whatever I was hearing. So
were you still pregnant at this time, or
it definitely happened
in that period?
During some of the pregnancy with my last one. With my last one, I would say, like, I went into labor, like,
I remember
confronting somebody.
I remember. I was like, what?
It was definitely, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then going into labor, whatever, I had her, and I remember, like, trying to reach him at night and him not coming home, and I'm home with a newborn baby and my 2 other girls. So it just became a lot, and I started this, like, I started praying. I literally started praying, like, every night, like, God, show me a sign. God, show me a sign. Show me a sign. And I was getting sign after sign after sign.
Don't do it. No left turn. Dead end.
Like, I was getting sign after sign, and you keep asking God to show you signs, and the sign is right in front of your face.
Right.
And then, like, the signs just started getting bigger, like, to a point where I can't hide it anymore.
Right.
I can't hide I can't hide a situation that's now public.
Right.
You know, I can't hide that somebody on the streets is claiming my husband. I can't hide that.
Right.
So I feel like he kept showing me over and over again, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Kept making the situation worse, having to get into altercations. You know, like, I'm not proud of it. Mm-hmm. And I've definitely grown from situations, but disrespect is no laughing matter to me. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I'm a Leo, and I don't.
And I hold grudges. Exactly. So if you're gonna approach me with caution, because this gonna go on forever.
I think I was getting like social media threats from people, from side bitches, like,
and side bitches' families. I was like, what?
Like, I was getting threats, like, what? And you know, I stopped responding. You gonna see me,
right? You
gonna see me, and when you see me, whatever you want to act on, you act on it. And that's exactly what happened. Right. You know, so once stuff started getting public like that, it just went left. Because now I'm not only, I feel like I wasn't even fighting over you at this point. It was really just disrespect.
Yeah, you're fighting to defend yourself.
Exactly.
And then the thing about defending yourself is, if you put me in a situation where I have to defend myself because of you, you better be behind me, backing me up.
And he wasn't.
So, like, to be in a situation where I'm backing myself up against your mistress, it's like, what?
Exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly, and there wasn't just one, two. You know, there was
several
was in there.
Several.
You know? So
several.
I was tired, and I feel like that one big extreme public altercation that went down.
In the Bahamas,
yeah, that went down or whatever. After that went down, I think it kind of opened everybody's eyes. Like, what? This was
going on, yeah.
Going on, and then where's he? Why is he not here protecting his wife? Why is he not?
Because I can remember, like, I was there. I was there the entire time. I think I was like 2 months pregnant, or like 6 weeks pregnant at that time. Yeah, so I'm like, I step away to get a water, and I come back, and there's a whole commotion. I'm like, what? Wait, what's going on? And then everybody was like in awe, and I'm just like, here we go again.
Right.
Like, you know, when the public is like, they're shocked, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening.
Right.
And I'm like, this mother, bleep, can we block that part out? I'm like,
right. So that being so public, I feel like that point was a major turning point for me. Like that, because I've never been so humiliated in my life.
Right.
To think that this is your life partner, somebody that you went before God for, somebody that you've had 3 children for. So at that point, I feel like they kind of lost the code a little bit. You never allow anybody to disrespect your wife,
right,
or the mother of your children.
Even if, now I'm not saying that this justifies what they're doing, but even if you're doing your stuff on the side, your stuff stays on the side. I don't like my corn on top of my steak. Side is the side.
Like that's the old school way, though.
Right.
Old school G's, old school cheaters, old school whatever. They never allow anybody.
Get your teeth knocked out.
I swear. Don't you ever step to my wife. Don't you ever whatever. So
body might come up missing.
So at that point, the fact that you no longer have respect for me or respect for whatever I have gone, like that was your point right there to now step in for me.
Right.
You know. And him not doing that was definitely, when I went home and I packed my stuff because I was staying at his mom's house at the time, and I packed my stuff and
his mom's house in the Bahamas. We were on a weekend getaway that weekend. They were having like a big festival, so we went over.
Yeah. So, and we're all from this island.
Yeah, we're all from the same island. It's like we can't get away from it. No matter how much our parents come here and try to build a better life for us and give us, we still end up like migrating back to our island. But like, I just feel like that's God's way of just kind of keeping our bloodline and our legacy and our heritage strong, our culture strong.
And that's important. My dad lives in Jamaica. Every chance I get to actually go and take my kids, I try to go because that's my lineage. That's where I'm from.
Right. And you don't want to lose that. You don't want to forget that. I don't want to be those Americans that don't know how to make conch salad.
Right.
Or I'll put in tomato juice in their conch salad.
And we're raised with, both of your parents were Bahamian, but I was raised with my mom, so definitely she was from the Bahamas. I want to have that link. I want to be able to, my kids to enjoy that life as well. So we would go home. So back to the story, we would go home these times for homecomings or festivals, regattas, whatever. And that's when this whole thing happened. And that was a major turning point for me. Literally went home, packed my kids up, and I left. And I was like, I came back here, and I'm like, I'm done.
Right.
Like, anybody know me know that I'm a catch. Come on.
Listen, she foreign, okay? She's foreign.
Like, and not only that, like, I hold it down. Like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. So I didn't deserve that.
Right.
I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve the public display of all of that. I didn't deserve it. Even if we were never going to be together, whatever, that particular situation just was disgusting.
Right. And even back to how you said, like, you were praying for signs and God keeps showing you signs.
There's the biggest sign of them all.
I feel like God showed you a sign so big that it was kind of like, okay, now everybody knows. Now what's your next move?
Exactly.
Like,
now you have no choice but to trust me.
Right.
Now you have no choice but to pray to me. And, you know, I became like a prayer warrior, like
very spiritual.
Literally how they would say in the closet, praying. I would go in the bathroom and pray.
Right.
I would go in the bathroom and pray. And at that point, I came back. So I came back without him.
Right.
At that point, I came back here, living here with my just my girls or whatever. And I would pray, and I would like, you know, God, just turn this around for me. Just turn it around for me. And then things just started happening. I ended up leaving my job at Memorial. Wasn't working for some period of time, and then he set it up where I was working from home.
Right.
I got like multiple job offers, 2 good job offers from home. I ended up accepting one, not knowing that my situation was turning the way it was turning.
Right.
You know, I would be a single mom.
Right.
You know. So
and God worked it out that you're able to work from home so that you can actually be full time in your children's life, and even having the youngest daughter who was like what, 1?
She was probably like 1 at a time.
So you know, I feel like that all worked together for his good.
Yeah, because those are the things I was praying for. Specifically, I was praying for a position that I could be from home, that I could drop my kids off to school, because I'm about to do this whole thing by myself. At this point, I had to decide it that I'm gonna do this by myself.
Right.
That I could work from home, I could be able to take my kids, whatever. I pray that the house that we were in, I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't like the walls. I didn't like the paint they put on the walls. I didn't like, every room reminded me of a situation, reminded me of a time, you know. And when the bad start outweighing the good, I had no more good memories in here.
Right.
Like, they were there, but I had to dig for them. I had to think back, way back, you know. So I literally prayed, God, I want to go move closer to the kids' school. I'm going to keep the home, but I want to move to the kids' school. And I literally wrote a list of things that I required in this home, you know. And within a few months, I was moving to the home. Like, everything was just lining up.
And it's a nice home. 5 minutes, not even, like less than 5 minutes away from the school. Like
literally, you know, the job, I was getting promoted. Like, it was just flourishing. And I feel like God was waiting on me.
Right.
He was waiting. All of this was already there for me to have, and this was my story. It was already written. But he was waiting on me to take that step. And when I came back home I think we had a hurricane or something like that. I don't remember, but I was home by myself with the girls.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Hurricane, doing this lock-in.
Right.
Home, just me, a woman, single woman.
With 3 kids.
3 daughters.
No power.
No power, no nothing, whatever. And in that time, it allowed me to pray as well and kind of lock in. And in that time, for me coming back from where we were and coming back here, and me making a decision that I wasn't going to put up with this anymore, I literally packed up everything. What I didn't sell, I didn't want anything of his around.
Right.
I couldn't change the paint on the wall because I didn't feel like it, but down to the bikes, the dogs, everything had to go out.
Don't do Jewel like that, because she's been here for before Jazara.
Jules ended up passing away after the hurricane, sadly, because she was there for everything. Jules definitely was a good dog. But that was a pivotal moment for me, you know, in that is packing up the stuff and making the physical move.
Right.
Actually moving the stuff out. I packed everything in the boxes. Some stuff I gave to my mom to give to the church. some Goodwill shirts.
Amen.
Some polos to the Goodwill.
You see, everybody was benefiting from this divorce, right? It ain't working for me, but it's gonna work for somebody else.
One or two Jordans. Those for a rainy day. So so that was a pivotal moment for me in that. Actually getting the stuff out the home and
Okay. You mentioned off air because we had like a whole conversation before we even started. A whole conversation that aside from the situation that happened in the Bahamas where everything got physical, that it was just other things that you realized that you were raising 3 girls and that you didn't want them to think that these things were okay.
So raising my daughters definitely has been in the forefront of all of this because I feel like that's why I stayed around so long because I wanted them to have that family unit. I wanted them to have a mom and dad, whatever. But then, something in me began to shift as I began to pray more and, God just started placing things in my heart that, do you want them to see you being hurt? Do you want them to think that it's okay for somebody to put their hands on them? Do you want them to think that it's okay for somebody to call them out their name?
Right.
So those were all, in that happening, he basically just showed me that you don't want this for your girl.
And it's bigger than you.
Yeah. You don't want this for your girl. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay here and take it and let them think that it's okay? Or are you going to let them know that it is not okay? It is not okay. And especially me raising 3 girls, 3 black women, I don't want them to be in toxic relationships. I don't want them to think that it's okay. So that was a pivotal moment for me to say, okay, Kentrell, this ain't working. This ain't working. And my oldest one has seen a lot, unfortunately.
Right.
She's seen a lot. She's had to say stop.
Right.
She's had to go in the room and cover her ears.
Right.
And I think one time we were riding in the car and she was just like, she said something and she was like, yeah, she's talking to her sister and she's like, yeah, I don't think I want a family. I don't want to be married. I don't want kids. And I was like, well, why would you say that? She's like, but mommy, look how daddy treats you.
Oh, man.
Look how daddy treats you. And I literally boo-hoo cried. I literally boo-hoo cried in the car because I was like, Lord, like,
you're doing all of this to keep the family intact so they can see like what a 2-parent home looks like, and it's just backfiring.
Right.
Now they're like, I don't even want the family.
I don't want it.
Throw the whole
And
family
she
out the
was
window.
Like, what, 5 or 6 at the time?
Right.
My little girl. Like, what little girl doesn't aspire to have kids or
have this dream wedding?
Whatever. I mean, they were kind of young, but she knew at that young age that something wasn't right.
Right. And why? Like, she had a valid reason. Like, if this is what it is, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Right.
Seeing their mommy cry. I remember sitting in the shower, literally crying. Just how you see it in the movies, dramatic, and they're
yeah, that ugly cry.
I was that woman. I was in there, and I begged God. I begged him, like, get me out of this. Get me out of this. I don't know which way to turn. I don't know who to turn to. I don't know. Like, my family is there, but they can only be there but so much until I'm ready.
Right. It's like you call us, we're there, but then you go back.
They're like, I done picked your ass.
You done popped up on me 3:00 in the morning.
Right? I remember some nights I spent by you, like, just to get away. I stopped going to my mom's because I stopped wanting her to. She was worrying. I'm literally popping up there sleeping and then going to work from her house, and then she watching the kids or whatever.
And then after work, you're going back home, back into it.
Like, what you gonna do? Like, so I started going by Vinci. Vinci ain't gonna ask no questions.
I was like, okay, girl, come on. We gonna park your car in the back. We're gonna park your car in the back because if he comes to this door, I'm calling the police.
So he can't find me parking in the back, and like it was just taking a toll on me. Like, I had gained so much weight, just being pregnant.
Back to back.
Being pregnant back to back. I lost the pregnancy before my last one. Lost the pregnancy. I would think I was like 4 months in, but lost the pregnancy while going through all of this.
Right.
Imagine.
Right.
On the toll it was taking on me, working full time, So anyway, I just gained a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight, and I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I didn't know who I
didn't recognize you too either, girl.
I literally couldn't fit my clothes, couldn't whatever, and you know, no matter how much I would try to make myself feel better by going out, maybe I would pick a random day and go out with you guys or whatever. I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable in the clothes I was in. And if he felt like this was a little too revealing, he would cut it up or whatever. I remember I came in my closet and everything literally had a slice through it.
Oh no.
Right. And I love my clothes. Okay.
just let me go get the brass knuckles real quick. Somebody about to get pounded.
So so I lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I knew I was a good mom, and I've always been a confident person from I can remember. I don't care how big I got. You can't tell me I don't look good.
Right.
You know? I love me.
Listen, because pretty is pretty, no matter how big you are.
Exactly. But I was getting to the point where it was unbearable.
Right.
Like, you know, and trying to work out and trying to be a full-time mom and trying to do this, whatever, but you're still in a toxic situation.
And you're still running behind, looking for the text message, following cars, popping up here, calling around, following,
I should
making.
have been a detective.
Listen.
Between me and Betsy, I think
Coming to me with all this stuff like, can you get into this phone? Girl, you know I don't be doing this kind of stuff. Okay, what's that, an Android? Okay. I got a charger.
That's just from last year. So yeah, I became like, it consumed me. I was so wrapped up in trying to figure out what the issue, who he was talking to, when they met up.
Right.
Stress eating. I'm very much a stress eater. Like when I get depressed, I eat. Like I'm a snacker, you know. So all of that, and then being pregnant back to back, my body's out of whack.
What was your like peak weight though? Because you look good now.
Peak weight, this was a little bit like before Nellie's wedding, our cousin Nellie. I was at 290.
Oh Lord.
Almost 300 pounds.
I'm gonna link those pictures below. No, I'm kidding.
But I gained a lot of weight. And I've always been a thick girl. I've never been skinny. I ain't never tried to be skinny. I don't want to be skinny.
Okay.
No offense to the skinny girls.
Okay.
To the skinny thick girls. But it's just not me. I'm not built that way. But it was bad.
Right.
It was bad. When you don't recognize yourself anymore, it's like, girl, what's going on here?
And I even how you said you were fed up, I feel like us as the family members, we were fed up because there was times like you guys would start arguing, like because we would always come to your house and like just kind of hang out and chill, you know, have our talks. Like we're a very intact family, so we see each other all through the week. Our kids go to school together. So we would just kind of come over, grab some cocktails and just chill, and it was like all of a sudden, boom, an argument. Right. Boom.
And y'all be picking up y'all stuff. Well, try to check y'all.
Yeah, like, we used to be like, as soon as we hear the scrambling and the door slamming and the cursing, we were like, I'm head out now.
I don't feel like people quite understand the boundaries when it comes to things like that. Only person that could stop that is me.
Right.
That's the only person that could stop, you feeling some type of way because he did something or she said something. But especially if my family's around, I feel like you disrespecting all of us. But I'm glad that my family was there to support me, and you know, even with the weight, you know, anything that I was willing to do to gym, whatever the case may be, everybody was right on my side and supporting me and rooting for me. Even when it came down to me just being by myself with my girls, my brother would call, you need whatever, anybody. And we became so close that Vincent would keep my children. We would swap.
Right.
We still that way.
Literally.
Like we lived together.
You be like, you going out? You going out tonight? No. Okay. Well, can you keep my kids? You going out tonight? Yeah.
All right. Well, you got me tomorrow.
All right. Well, we just gonna swap. You know what? Let's just find somebody that's gonna keep all five of them, so we can go out together. But I'm like a lot of people. You know, they kind of see this modern day you, like, you know, you look so good, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I always tell people, I'm like, listen, because a lot of people, they, like you say, they don't know until that one situation got public. But even now, I feel like people kind of don't know the ins and outs. And I always tell people, like, you deserve everything that comes your way, every opportunity, every career opportunity, every goal you can hit. any body challenge you need to reach, like, because I've seen you at your peak and I've seen you at the bottom, and it just was like, I don't know if she's gonna make it out of this relationship, but I was scared for you. I was like, I'm like 5 stars. Like, if you guys were to see like the start and the finish, you would say, holy, we're gonna bleep that out. But it was just like, it was amazing just to see you get back to you.
Right.
Because what's in the front of me right now is the person that I knew growing up. Like, the happy, bubbly, confident, like, not afraid to try colors and styles and this and that. And it was like, after it got so bad, it was like, he doesn't want me to wear this color. He doesn't want me to wear this outfit.
Right.
He keeps feeding me. I'm gaining weight. So I was like, when you got back to this, I'm like, yes. Like,
And I felt that from all around.
Right.
All around. His family and friends are like, girl, you look good. Like, I still have close relationship with his mom, with his, like, we're still, even though me and him don't communicate, like, I have nothing but good things to say when it comes to that side of the family. And I was always blessed in that area to say that my kids had both sides that are still in their lives and still, you know, going to be those great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, to them, despite what we went through or whatever. So, but in my transition and finding myself again and being in the church, going to church more often. I shouldn't say being in church, but going to church more often.
let's say, girl, you was on the praise team.
On the first team. No, I wasn't on the first team. But, you know, just talking to God a little more. Just talking to God a little more, and, you know, I know he has a path for my life, and I feel like I'm going down that road, and I feel like he has me exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment. So would I change anything? I feel like this was already written. I feel like it was already written. I was supposed to be here sharing my story right at this moment.
Right.
You know? I was a little skeptical, you know.
This is the Lived It podcast, okay?
But I've lived it. I've survived it.
Yes.
You know, I'm flourishing. I'm doing things that I didn't think I would be doing.
Right.
You know, and I am a proud mother. I am a single mother, and I'm proud to say who I am today, that my kids can be proud of me. You know, and whoever comes in my life, whoever God has to come in my life, as far as like another husband, whatever it may be or whatever, I want them to see what a healthy relationship is.
Right.
You know, so I'm just thankful for this platform, because I feel like I was skeptical at first, because I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't know if I want people in my business, but my business was public anyway.
My life is an open book.
It's an open book. And my story is, let me tell my own story.
And people are already reading the pages.
Right.
Don't even read this language.
Right.
Making up their own stories.
And you guys can see my side of it, you know. And then definitely, this podcast is definitely a platform to do that. And I want to let women know that it's okay. It is okay to leave.
Right.
When you feel like it's nothing else that you've done all you can.
Right.
Like the song said.
Who's that, Marvin Sapp? We're gonna link that below.
After you've done all you can, and I've been the supportive wife. I've done it all. There's nothing that like I said before, there's nothing that I didn't do or wouldn't do. But I feel like knowing when to go is definitely important.
Letting go.
If I would have stayed, I would still be in all of that. Hopefully I would still be here.
Alive.
Right. You know, still be in all of that. And look how much time I lost.
Right.
Not saying that I want to take it back, because I got my 3 beautiful daughters out of it, but my entire,
yeah, the higher 20s.
Back,
and I always tell people, it's not what you walk away from, it's what you walk away with. And I think that was Lil Wayne's lyrics, and I just kind of took that and spent it to my own situation. Like, women especially are always so afraid to like move on and let go and start over, and it's like you're holding on for the sake of these girls, but it's not what you walk away from, it's what you walk away with. Like, yeah, we had our good and our bad times, the bad started outweighing the good, but like the bad will never trump the 3 beautiful daughters that I have in the front of me today. Right. So it's fine.
Seeing that we all have, like, in our family, we have the successful marriages. Like, and I'm like, here I am, the married one. Why can't my my aunts, my mom, all of them are in successful marriages. And
20 plus years.
so what is the problem?
Made it look easy. Then here we come up talking about, yeah, we gonna do this.
Like, they're all in success. I'm not saying that they don't go through stuff, but I just didn't foresee my story being that way.
Right.
You know, and I feel like our generation or us, we just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Listen, we all bleeped up, okay? And that's what pushed me to actually do this podcast, because I would be like, when we all sit down in a room and kind of share, let me tell you about this one time. Mm-hmm. Like, the things are like so off the wall. When I talk to like my friends or my coworkers, their stories are like so plain and buttered. Like, I'm like, wait, no. And when we come together, it's like, let me tell you how he did da da da, and I had to da da da, and we had to like, and I'm just like, you know what? I have to do this. I have to put it out there, because with people that's going through what you're going through, I like you said, I want people to know that it's okay to start over. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to let it all go. You can let your pride down. It's okay to be embarrassed and let the world know, listen, this marriage failed. Right. But the good thing about being married is you can do as much as you want. My mom's going on her third marriage. Oh, so listen, and she said, I'm going to do it until I get it right. Okay, Mom. Okay. Go ahead and do it then.
I don't think that my mom or my aunts haven't been through stuff. I feel like they all have been through stuff, but it's really, like you said, what you come out, and they're all in successful marriages, long term.
And it takes two. Like, yeah, I can't be pulling you and you're pulling back, and I'm pulling you forward, and you're like, it's like.
And in my situation, I feel like I was the only one that wanted it. I feel like I was the only one.
Trying to make it work. There
would be moments that he would be involved in. Let's the tears, and let's make this.
Oh, I love the tears. Yeah. The tears would be like, oh my god. And then here we go, be like, yo, this is not the same man that was on his knees crying, having like problems breathing, holding his lungs. Where's that man? I'm gonna start.
So, like, I feel like it takes two. So if I was the only one that was giving it 100. And people don't understand. When you're in a marriage or you're in a union, when you start letting outside things seep into your marriage, when I say that, I mean a mistress or a side chick, whatever the case may be, or whatever it is.
To just sow seeds.
It's hard for you to get back on the same page, because you're pouring out your heart to somebody else, that you don't even have the space and the time to deal with me for us to get back to where we need to be.
Right.
So it became, we just didn't know each other anymore.
And then not let it be a nasty mistress.
Yeah.
Because I think I've dealt with both. Like, I've dealt with, I can remember calling a girl like, are you sleeping with my boyfriend? And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that he was married. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna back off. You guys have family. I've had a girl. Are you sleeping with my boyfriend? Listen, this is my man. And I'm just like, hold on, wait, what? So when you have that nasty one, it just makes it so much harder to kind of just come out from that.
Right. And people say, oh, you shouldn't deal with the girl. You shouldn't confront the girl, whatever. Yeah, you say that.
I'm confronting both of you. Now, who gonna catch these paws? That's a different story. But no, I feel like both parties should always get confronted, because I don't want to hear down the line that you did not know. Right. Because I came to you as a woman, whether y'all like it or not. Because y'all be shade, no, don't come to me as no woman. I'm going to come to you as a woman because I need to know what's going on. But yeah, definitely. When you have like that spiteful one, and like in your case, like,
it was ridiculous.
It was that was, I want to say
she. The first phone call, but the first time that I had heard anything about it, I called her. Because I'm like, this is a little girl to me. Like, I don't.
Right.
So I called, and she initially was like, oh, it was a mistake. She apologized or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And then like a week later, I'm hearing the same thing.
Right. And then a mistress that keeps resurfacing.
Oh, yeah.
Keep resurfacing.
Don't feel like you could walk in my shoes. You don't know, or you could hold up my crown. You don't know what it's taken for me to hold this crown up.
Right.
So don't think it's all peaches and cream. Everybody have their situations going on. So I feel like that was the constant. And the fact that he wasn't standing up made it even easier for her to seep in or whatever. So you can't, in that type of environment, it's hard for us to ever get back on the same page if you're still feeding into outside things.
Was it ever a time in like that relationship that you felt like, yo, God has abandoned me? Like, he's tired of me. He's just like out, like he's not here.
Yeah. A lot of times because I would pray and ask for signs, but I feel like it was kind of like
More on your part.
more on my part, because here I am, the sign is there that he sent me, but I'm ignoring it. So
That's not it. I need a big sign, God.
Yeah,
Here come this
so-
blimp. No. I need a big
I
sign.
need you right
Leave.
now, right? A sign or something. And I just felt like it wasn't happening quick enough for me.
Right.
It wasn't happening quick enough. And I feel like he probably felt like, well, you ain't moved when I told you to move.
Right.
The sign that I sent for you didn't take heed to.
I'm going to let you suffer a little more.
Exactly. So I'm going to make it public.
Right.
Let's see what you're going to do.
This what you're trying to keep hidden? Okay, so now that it's public, what you going to do?
Right.
Leave.
So, I feel like he's still, me coming back by myself and being here by myself and being at the home by myself, he was all I had.
Right.
Even during the hurricane. My family couldn't get out to me. Yeah, we were talking on the phone, but we were literally locked
stuck.
in our homes. My car's on the
Stuck.
carport. We were stuck inside with no electricity. Who could come to my rescue but him?
But Jesus.
But him.
Right.
And imagine me, a woman with my 3 daughters. I was scared. Because I'm like, anybody could come in here at any given moment.
Right.
And what I'm going to do?
You got your gun license.
Yeah. So you come in if you want to.
If you're coming in, if you want to, I'll bust first.
But I'm just saying, like, he made it that I only could depend on him. I only could talk to him at that moment.
Right.
It was nobody else that I could turn to. My husband, who I loved for all these years, wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, they had their own situation in their own house.
And I was pregnant. I was scared.
You couldn't do it.
I was scared.
So I feel like he created that environment that I could only lean on him. I could only ask him for guidance and ask him for covering and, just to continue to pour into me.
And you really use those moments of silence to just draw yourself back to him.
Right.
So thank God for those
I'm not saying
moments.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying, in my time that I needed him, he was just on time. He was
Right.
on time. And he was there for me in ways that no one ever understand. Me being in my bathroom crying to myself and thinking, is this where I want to be? God, please, begging. So, yeah. So I'm embracing this new life. I'm embracing it.
I love it.
I'm thankful. There's days it's hard. It's hard doing it on your own.
Right.
It is hard raising three black queens. But I feel like the best is yet to come.
Right.
And I'm not at my peak, and I'm doing good, and I'm doing better than most.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to see what the future has in store for me and my kids. Like I just can't wait. And I feel like he's gonna. I don't have to. I'm not addressing stuff no more. I'm not addressing it. He could do, not do. I'm not addressing no chick that got something to say. I'm not addressing it anymore. I've completely released.
Right.
And I feel like even up until a few weeks ago, I went back.
Right.
I'm not saying it's all peachy cream.
Listen, we all fall short of the glory of God.
I'm not saying it's all peachy cream, and I definitely had a moment of weakness.
And I feel like that's what people want to see. I honestly feel like when someone aims to break you and they see that you're not broken, I feel like they kind of want to touch you to see, okay, like, are you put back together, or are you kind of like putting on?
I've been doing so good.
Yes, like, let me see for myself that you
so there goes
changed.
somebody trying to try me or whatever.
Right.
But, when you speak on my children, all bets are off. That's the problem for me.
Right.
Don't have anything, and people gonna have something to say, but if in my direct presence, when you speak on my children, there's something that you don't know my daily struggles.
And especially when you're like the sole care provider.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm doing this on my own.
By yourself every day.
Every day. Nobody is waking up, whatever. I have family that step in here and there, but I'm the sole person. So when somebody's speaking on that situation, it just took me back.
Right.
It just took me back to a place of vulnerability and feeling like I need to defend this. And I need to whatever. But you know what? My glow up speaks for itself.
Yes, Lord.
My glow up speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I don't need to prove anything to anybody. You're just gonna watch and see.
Right.
That's it.
And that's all. That's all. Like, I can show you better than I can tell you. Just keep looking.
Just keep watching.
Just keep looking.
The best is yet to come. You have not seen the last of me.
And here you are, glowing and growing.
Here I am.
Finer than anything. You then shed off all that weight, like, what? Literally, like, 100... Was 100 pounds?
About 100 pounds.
Literally like 100 pounds.
Right.
Like,
Give or take.
listen, I'd be mad too.
So, like I said, my glow up speaks for itself, and I'm like, and I'm not gloating or whatever because I've went through it. But I feel like this is my time to shine, and why not tell my story? Why not encourage somebody else?
Right.
Why not, so they can see that God did it for me, he could definitely do it for you.
Right.
You don't have to stay in those situations, Yeah, you might be down today, but tomorrow it could be a brighter day, and you could do it all by yourself.
Right, and have a full, 180? What's a full around? It's not 360. Whatever. Not 360 because we don't want to go back to where we came from. So probably like 180. Just give you a whole 180 and you just be on the other side of where you thought you were going to die at.
Yeah.
But so your advice that you would have for anyone that's going through the situation that you've came through?
Definitely, I would say prayer. I would say prayer. Find support in your whatever it may be, a family member, or because I definitely have people that I confided in and talked to. Because sometimes you're just holding on to so much stuff and thinking that you could do it all by yourself. I remember feeling so alone. I had so much people in my life, but I felt so alone. Why is that? I had so finding those people those trustworthy people that you could confide in that ain't gonna talk your business.
Right.
And basically leaning on him and stepping out on faith. Because if I didn't have faith, I would have still been there. I would have still been trying to make ends meet or trying to figure it out or whatever. And just stepping out and trusting that he would turn a bad situation into something good. So that would be my advice. And definitely know your worth.
Right.
I would say know your worth. I didn't know my worth for a long time. No matter how much I tried to put on or whatever, I didn't. I knew that that's not how it was supposed to be.
Right.
And I knew it was wrong. But do you really know your worth if you're sticking out with it?
Still dealing.
The right thing,
still dealing. Still know it's someone that you know how you're supposed to be treated, but you're sitting here taking whatever treatment that comes your way.
Exactly. So know your worth and glow up like the queen you're supposed to be. The queen that you were born to be. So that would definitely be my advice. And like I say, prayer was my number one key for me. Definitely trusting in him and knowing that he had
your best interest in heart too.
It was already written, and he already knew that I would be where I'm at today.
Sitting here in this beautiful studio on the Lived It podcast, telling your story. Just if we reach one person that's going through whatever it is that you may be going through, I just want people to know that we've all been through it.
Right. And we wouldn't think that we would be still. We came from prayer warriors
and thank God for them, because that's what we were able to fall back on.
My mom, my aunts, my
grandma.
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 But she carried me a mighty long
right.
These prayer warriors in your life, you really don't know how they're covering you when you're not praying.
Right.
So definitely, I know that they kept me. They definitely kept me and had my name in prayer when I was going through. They might not knew the ins and outs, and they might have had a little testimony or a little advice when they saw me or whatever. I remember, my mom would speak to me all the time, but I remember my aunt and my godmother, when they would see me, they just knew it wasn't me.
Right.
They knew. I didn't even know that my godmother knew that much that was going on. And when she saw me and she just was like, don't you let that break you.
Right.
Just like that. Don't you let that break you. You were built for greater. And then, that just touched me. And everything that everybody was saying to me and pouring into my life and, different sermons and different prophecies and, all of that, just, I embraced it. And I'm like, you are better. You are better, and you're going to come out on the other side. And I'm thankful for everybody who saw that in me, because I didn't see it in myself.
Right. Okay, one more question. So at what point would you tell your audience like the relationship is unsalvageable? Because everybody's unsalvageable is different. So what was that for you?
Unsalvageable. Disrespect.
Just the disrespect.
When they don't respect you as a person, and respect could mean everything. Respect could mean talking to you any type of way, allowing somebody to tarnish your character, whatever the case may be. Disrespect, putting their hands on you, like all of that falls under the umbrella of disrespect. If you don't respect me, period, as a woman, as a person, as the mother of your kids, as your wife, that is a problem. That is a major, major problem. And I don't even know if that's something that you can gain back, because I feel like once somebody loses respect for you, it's just downhill from there. And they can do anything at that point.
They say there's no expiration date on disrespect. Like, if you done disrespected me,
Right. And I can accept some apologies here and there. If you're showing better behavior, that's different. I'm definitely a one for second chances, because I'm not.
No, you're the one for eighth chances and ninth chances. Yeah, I had to. I was like,
the same one. We definitely. One thing I can say, we definitely ride for ours, and we definitely see the good in them.
Right.
Until we can't see it anymore.
And not even that you so much what you see in them, they don't even see in themselves.
Exactly.
And I think that's what causes women to hold on to men so long, is because like you see them in this greater light. Like I see where you could be, or I see who you could be, and I see all this greatness, and it's like you don't even see that in yourself. So who am I to hold on to something I see for you if you can't even see it for yourself? Do you want to close this out, or do you want me to close this out?
I can close it out.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
I'm very, very, very honored. I'm honored that you chose me
as first guest.
As your first
Yes.
guest. You've been a rider for me.
Child, I try. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Or whatever, and I feel like we do that for each other, vice versa.
Right.
So, I'm elated to see, and I'm excited to see what this podcast is going to bring for not only you, but for all of us as women. And I'm happy to say that I not only lived it, but I survived it.
And that is it. Tune in next week for our next episode. We're going to be dropping our episodes every Monday, because everybody hates Mondays, right? So we're going to be dropping our episodes every Monday to just give you guys something to look forward to. So we'll see you later. We love you all, and stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands. For God's sake, wash your hands. If you can find some soap on the shelves.
That's fun. What was that? I like that. I could do this for the rest of my life.